Hello, Unbreakable Mompreneurs. My name is Charisse Walker, and I'm your host. And today I'm here with Lidia Chmel, and she is a coach. She's a mom, and so I'm just going to have her introduce herself to us, and then we'll get started. So, Lydia, go ahead.
Hi, hello, Charisse, hello, everyone listening, watching. I'm super excited to be here. I've been a coach for the last 8 years, and a lot of my clients naturally are women and mothers, and I've been helping them. First, I was specializing in midlife crisis. That was for a first part of my career, but last, I don't know, five years, I've been working as a business coach because my background is in finance. For first 13 years of my career, I was a corporate person, dealing with finance, became a CFO, and then went on a journey to find meaning and to do what I love, which is coaching.
I love that. So, how did you get into the niche that you're in now? What made you decide to do that?
Right. So as I said, my first niche was midlife crisis. And I got there very simply because I was going through one. I was looking for resources, I was looking for help, and I couldn't find one kind of place, or couldn't find anybody who was like very specific to that midlife crisis in women. Majority of midlife crisis stuff is for men. So that's how I got into that niche, and I stayed there. I wrote a book on midlife crisis in women. It was amazing. But then we moved countries with my family, first to Portugal, now then to Israel, and then I felt the need to pivot for many reasons, and business reasons, and changing the market, kind of going more global. Now I look back at my experience, at my education, which is finance and MBA. So I had a lot of business education, and I had a lot of experience starting businesses, had a few other businesses. So I married this together, and I thought, well, why don't I help other coaches build their businesses? That's how I got there.
That's great. So, how do you find your clients? What do you do to get them?
Um, Content is probably my number one source. I love creating content. Text is my probably favorite, but this year I'm going into YouTube.
Wow.
um, so, it's just early days, but it's a bit of a challenge, but I love challenge myself. I think being a solopreneur is a constant challenge. So instead of waiting for the challenge to come at me unexpectedly, I challenge myself, like fail forward. I'm challenging forward. So I rely on content. Right now LinkedIn, because my clients, my ideal clients are mainly on LinkedIn. There is a referral. Often people find me through my clients, my previous clients. So that happens. But for my digital products, I rely on ads, Facebook ads. I'm learning LinkedIn ads. I don't rule out any source clients.
That is so good because I know a lot of people, they wonder, how do I get started? I don't even know. I don't have an audience. I don't have this. And so I like that you recognize that you do need to be on multiple platforms, especially to get started. You focused on LinkedIn, and now you're branching out. So congratulations on YouTube as well.
Thank you. I also want to mention that when I pivoted into like business coaching, I heavily leveraged my network, and I was doing warm outreach. Yes, it's laborious process. It takes a lot of effort, but I was sending like, for Moses says like 100 messages a day to my ex-colleagues, my previous clients. Like I was asking everyone, hey, this is I'm doing something new. Do you know anyone who would be interested in that? Can you recommend someone to me, or me to someone? And that's how I got my first clients, actually.
You have different methodologies of thought. Some people, it's like, okay, I'm starting this program, so I'm going to do it for free. Who wants in? And then there's the other one where I'm not going to charge very much because I'm just testing it out, beta testing. And so I'm going to charge because it's my time, but not very much. Or I'm not going to tell anyone I'm new, and I'm just going to launch my high ticket offer and stuff. So where did you go? At what point of the spectrum were you?
Right. I'm a little bit unique case because I was pivoting. So on one hand, I was kind of new. On the other hand, I had a ton of experience and education. So I felt a little bit kind of intimidated not to charge anything, right? So what I did, I said, hey, why don't we work on a kind of success fee basis?
Oh, nice.
So I'm not going to work for free because I have a ton of experience and I'm pretty confident I can deliver results. So I use two methods. One is like we work until you get results and then I get paid. And I think it's going to take that long. But obviously there are some conditions, so they have to do their part, right? Or you pay me this, and this is like maybe not what I want, but kind of close to what I want to be charging. And then if you don't get result in this period of time, I will work with you for free until you get the result. So both of this, it just depends, tailored to the client, but that's what I did.
You know, I like that you say that because I had a conversation with somebody. I came back from a funeral this weekend. And so we were having this conversation. I don't even know how we got onto it, but he talked about, he used to work at Home Depot. And he said, we sell 1 million drill bits a year. Like, and don't quote me on the number. I'm just giving an example, right? It's probably more than that. But so who wants a drill bit? How many people want a drill bit? And so I'm like, okay, I don't understand your question. And he goes, nobody wants the drill bit. I mean, think about it. They want the whole. And so if you can give a guarantee where I'm going to work with you until you get this result, that's what people are wanting. And they're willing to do whatever they need to be able to get to that. You know, I know many coaches I've hired that here's the 3 month, whether you are successful or not, you're going to pay me X amount. And if you are successful, you're going to give me even more than that. But if you're not, well, sucks for you. See you later. And so I think that it's a good idea. How did your clients receive that, where I'll work with you until, I mean, was that a lot more successful than not?
Absolutely, 100%. That's the basis of my philosophy. With life coaching, it's a little bit more difficult, but I think with harder niches like business coaching, I think that's absolutely valid offer. And I've been successful in that. And I think like I ran a workshop, get 10 clients in 30 days, right? Not workshop, the boot camp. Like, yeah, I know it's very intense, but I know it's possible. If you do the work, it's absolutely possible because the techniques, the frameworks, the step-by-step that I give, if you follow them, you will get result. So I think I do give time frames, right? Like 30 days, 60 days, but this will depend on how intense and some luck. So I'm definitely seeing appreciation from my clients, focusing on the outcome versus number of sessions. Is it 60 minutes or 90 minutes? I don't care. I often say our call is going to be from 30 to 60 minutes. Just book 60, but if we finish in 30 minutes, why do we want to spend an extra 30 minutes? So I think the value pricing, kind of, that's what I use, right? Rather than kind of being like I think it's all coming from the therapy, like our grandparent of coaching, where like they charge you for 60 minutes or whatever the session is. I think coaching, especially again, more harder niches like business coaching, we should take a different approach, and clients appreciate that.
So do you do one-on-one? Do you do group coaching? Do you do both?
I do a combination, and I think every coach need to have some sort of a combination if they want to not to burn out and if they want to have the flexibility to take vacations and stuff like that. So I have a combination. I do have one-on-ones and I love them, and I think I don't want to give them up, but I don't want to fill my calendar with one-on-ones. First of all, it's not my kind of the strongest part. I love talking to group. That's why I went to YouTube. And then I have a digital product. So I have the boot camps, which is live, and then I have some on-demand courses. So this is kind of the full spectrum, I guess.
How long did it take you to set that all up?
It's in progress.
Okay.
It's in progress. Some of it went through beta, some of it kind of in various stages. The first year, mainly one-on-ones. I think you need to go through this certain number of one-on-ones to better understand your client's problems, to better understand like pitfalls, and you know how things work. You need to get through a volume to be able to go then to the product. And you know, live group, you can run quicker, but then if you go into the product space, like something on demand, like you need to be pretty sure it's good quality. So that's not ready yet. So that's kind of to come.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting? It's hard because I think as an entrepreneur, it's like, okay, I want to do this, 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 this. And sometimes people get paralyzed. Like, I don't even know where to start. And then you add being a mom on top of it and trying to juggle all of that. And now you add move because you've moved a couple of times. And so I know, and it's hard. And let's take it one step further. You're in Israel. And so it's even more, there's some chaos and fear, right? So how do
Yes.
you juggle all of that?
So, oh, there
Yeah.
is no simple answer to that. All
Mhm.
right. I'm not going to say it's easy, first of all. And secondly, it's not just one magic,
Mhm.
one magic pill, one magic tool that helped me, right? It's just, and I think it's one of the benefits of being a coach is like you constantly learn and grow and you apply things to yourself, and then you help your clients. And the coach, you know, your clients can only grow that as much as you grow. So what's been helping me is just constantly making sure that I'm okay, because I think I cannot help my clients if I'm not okay. So that means, yes, my progress is slower than I wish it to be, but my self-care is number one priority. Am I getting enough sleep? Am I eating right? Am I doing the checkups? You know, so it's just being always on the top of my list,
Mhm.
right? Just making sure I'm listening to the right people. Also, there are so many people that pushing you, and I'm very competitive person. I'm a high achiever. I'm always A+ student, but I have to pull myself back all the time. And I have various people, balance checks and balances that actually help me. So I have a friend, I have a coach, and a
Mhm.
therapist. By
Mhm.
the way, therapy is another kind of thing. I've been doing it for, I don't know, 3 years probably. Like these people, like I'm doing the reality check with them. I'm ready for this move, and I ready to take this new challenge. Am I not going too fast? They are asking these hard questions that I ask from my clients. So having a system of people who can kind of help you to keep your self-care at the top of your list, that's probably helping me the most.
That's good. And having the coach, I can't tell you, because sometimes you get down. Like I got in at 2 o'clock this morning from this funeral and I'm tired, but you listen to your coach and they're like, okay, let's do this and let's do this. And yes, you can totally do it on your own, but it's always nice to have somebody else to know that they're cheering you on, because that self-sabotage or the devil on your shoulder, they're just sitting there whispering in your ear, you're not good enough, you can't do this, you're not ever going to be successful. And you need that other person, the angel, saying, yes, you can, yes, you can. It's what was the cartoon like a long, long time ago where they had the two, you know?
Is it the Tom and Jerry?
I
No?
think it was. Yeah, you're right. It was Tom and Jerry, Sylvester. But that's the thing, is that there's always going to be that person. And my daughter came with me and we had a long conversation about it because she's going through this crisis. I call it the quarter life crisis. She's only 25, but it's like, Mom, I don't know what to do. And I said, you've got to get some cheerleaders in your corner that actually, this is the part that I want to like asterisk, is that it's great to have friends, but if those friends don't have any desire or drive, they're going to keep you stagnant. You need people that have a desire to bring you up. And if that's one thing for me, the masterminds, have you found it's not just your coach, it's the like-minded people.
Absolutely. I think that's another great tool, or another great way. is have a group of like-minded people, a community, or mastermind. No, absolutely. That's a great way, because if your friend is doing something completely different, if they're working in a corporation, that might be a great friend, but they wouldn't be able to understand all those struggles with the imposter syndrome. Why are you going on YouTube? Because why are you challenging yourself? Like they would be in the best intent, they would just not be able to support you as much as people who are at the same, area, the same, you know, doing the same thing, right? So no, totally agree. I've been lucky to be part of some masterminds at some point, or even or communities of other coaches, and that's been really helpful.
I think that's great. So what advice would you give somebody that is starting out on a business? Of all the things that you've done, because you've been in it for years, what's one piece of advice? Just one.
Yeah. I would say get a coach, and I know it may sounds kind of self-promoting, but that's what I would do. Like if you honestly ask me, because I think my path would have been easier. I always, I bought books, I bought e-learnings. I'm like, I can figure it out on my own. I'm smart. I watch YouTube videos. Now looking back, I think I would save time. I would save money. Even at that point, it sounded very expensive to hire a business coach. So I thought I'd rather buy a book or buy an online course. But then when you add it all up, plus you had the time that you had to figure it out, I would hire a coach that will help to make things, quicker and easier. But secondly, it will help with that accountability thing. And third, it will be that cheerleader to get you through all the internal struggles and problems that we all have.
I want to add a fourth to that, because if you think about it, there's somebody, well, I won't tell you who it is, but he got up there and he's like, okay, what are the 3 most expensive things in your life? And so like, I'll ask you, what are the 3 most important expensive things in your life?
I ever bought?
Or just, like in the US, taxes is something, right?
Okay.
Our car, our mortgage, but what are some of the expensive?
Yeah, probably an apartment that we had and then sold. My MBA, my executive MBA in London Business School, that was very expensive, but actually it paid for itself. I don't know, maybe my engagement ring. I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing. So people start throwing out all these ideas, but he said one thing, and if you get a coach, people get coaches because you and I both, we have MBAs, right? So we went to school hoping that it would pan out, and it did for both of us, more than doubled my income. But it's the opportunity costs. Because if you would have gotten a coach earlier, or say you did get a coach, and so now, like Alex Hormozi, I heard you say that, that he can help you fast track and get to your 100 or $1 million way faster. And so it's the opportunity cost is the most expensive thing, because if you're like spinning your wheels, you're not doing anything, that's costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars. It really is. And so that's the part that I think with coaches, they know how to do it. And asterisk again, they have to have done it before. Because if they haven't, then they don't know what they're talking about, right? So those are things that you just have to be aware of. And I'm not saying you, because I know you know, but our listeners, it's really something that, how much are you losing by not hiring somebody?
Oh, I love this. I love this. One of my favorite exercises that I give probably to every client, and I do myself very often, is the fear setting exercise from Tim Ferriss. And the second part, I think the second part is like, what are you losing? It focuses on exactly that. What are you losing by postponing that decision in 6 months, in 1 year, in 3 years? So in monetary terms, in other terms, like what are you losing by not doing this? I think it's a great exercise. Again, it's just showing that opportunity cost that you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Nope, that's great. Okay, next question. As a mom, I want you to imagine yourself sitting on a park bench, and a mom comes to you and she's 9 months pregnant. She's waddling, she sits down, and you get talking. And this is her first time she's ever had a child. And now that you've had your four and the gamut, what advice would you give her on being a mom? Not a new mom, it's just anything that you can. What's one piece of advice you'd give her?
Oh, just one?
You can give more if you want.
All right. Well, I think I have two. One is the most important thing or part of being a mom is just love your kid. Like this is the most they need from you. Like they don't need you to be smart. They don't need you to be like know every single thing about how to raise a child, about the anything. All right. Like if if you love them from the day they're born, like throughout the whole life, I think there's the unconditional love is that what they need. And like whatever you feel like a bad mom, and you're gonna feel it
Mhm.
very often. Just if you love them and if you show the love, tell them, there are four languages of love, so everyone needs it a bit differently. You can research, but even just expressing and just feeling love, that's the one thing. And second one, you are the best mom for them. Like remember, you are the best mom because that's the universe, the God, whoever decided that you are their mom, then it means you are the best. Again, it helps with this feeling that I'm not good enough. I'm not spending enough time. I'm not, I'm spending time on my business instead of being now with a child. So whatever situation, I think these two things, whenever I forget about them, I get in a bad place. And when I remember them, then it helps.
I love that advice. And it's true because, again, I'm driving down with my daughter to this funeral and we get talking at the end and she opens up about some things. And you always like, oh, I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? And then I have these two little ones. I'm like, okay, I can start over. But these two little ones are different than the first ones. And so you really do the best that you can. And I do believe that. It's that you're given a stewardship, I think, of these beautiful children. And you know what you need to do with them. And don't listen to other people. Just trust your instincts and trust yourself. And that communication, open communication. Love is something that is very important. It's sad when I see children who have cut their parents off or their parents have cut their children off because they don't agree with their values, their beliefs, whatever it may be. And so the child just can't handle it anymore. And they don't want to have a connection with their parent because of that. And I've seen that with some people recently. And I just thought as a mom, I don't ever want that to happen. I want my children to feel like they can come to me with anything. And I was watching this TV show. She's like, I'm your ride or die, and I will bury the body and then ask questions. And I'm like, well, I told my child, I'm like, I won't help you bury the body, but I will be there when we call the police because I don't think you're teaching them accountability.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, you can be angry with someone, but if you angry with love, you wouldn't say things
Right.
that then you would regret
Yeah.
afterwards. And then again, if you're coming from a place of like always connecting with that love in you to that child, then you're like, okay, well, teenage years. I mean, two of my boys, it was just awful. I thought I want to kill myself. I want to kill them. I want to kill myself, like
Right.
figuratively, right? And I'm like, uh, um, we almost went into fighting, and they're really big. um, and then I always came back like, okay, I love them. They will be all right. I'm the best mom, even if it doesn't feel right now. It will be okay,
Yeah.
and it is okay.
Well, and I think they get to a point in which I said to my oldest too, I'm like, okay, you are 25. Like you now know right from wrong, and you know how I feel, you know where I stand, you know what I want for you, and now it's your turn. And so as hard as it's going to be for me to step back, it's
Hmm.
your choices. And so if you ask, I will tell you how I feel. I might not wait for you to ask, but I'm not going to lecture you about everything you're doing wrong anymore because they don't need that. They just need somebody there that says, okay, let me run this by you. What
Yeah.
I need perspective. So I've decided it's like a new leaf. It happened at Christmas. I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like you're old enough. You're making your own choices, whether I agree or disagree. You're going to do it anyway. So I don't need to have this tension between us. So
Yeah.
it's hard, but it's working for
No,
me.
it's absolutely hard. I actually did it again because two of them were going very terribly, very tough through the teenage. And I read a couple of books, and a lot of them said that, you know, you need to start stepping back, and that was helpful, kind of giving them more responsibility. That would lower the anger. That would lower. And I'm very controlling, so I had to give up that much earlier than 25. I started like 16. Well, now they are 19, 21, and 23. And, you know, they're almost making all the decision by themselves. I went through that hard kind of separation part earlier on. It was so hard not to always tell your opinion, always tell them what to do. Because you know, or you feel like you know, but they have to make their own mistakes. And when you give them the ownership, it's really helping to bring that tantrum down, because now they don't have the reason to fight with you. You say, okay, well, you think you know better than me, no problem. Now this is now your area. Okay, you want to go to school, you go. You don't want to go to school, you go, but then you deal with the consequences of that. Yeah. And all my friends like, what, you allowing your kids not to go to school? I say, yes, I stopped. I can't take the fight anymore. Now that was that was hard, but it worked. It worked in the end.
And yes, I'm not like controlling them at 25. Yes, when they're like 8 years old, we start having that conversation where they start making, what do you think type decisions. But you're making a mistake, I don't agree with you, the conversation, it's over.
Okay. I'm not there yet.
I love you, but oh yeah, it's hard because you love your kids and you know that they're going to regret it, or you know that the path that they're going. I talk about the easy path, the hard path, and I have some kids that just have to take the hard path, and I'm hoping eventually they'll get back, but that's their choice. And my son said, "Mom, I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions." I'm like, "Okay." But there's also consequences to that.
There you go.
Just be aware of that. So anyway. Okay, so if our listeners wanted to find you because they'd say, I do need some coaching or whatever, how do they find you?
Right. Well, I think LinkedIn is where I hang out. I post, I can DM me, or YouTube is now my my new channel. So come and join me, Lidia Chmel, everywhere. It's easy, right? So, you know, let's connect. I love chatting.
Fantastic. Well, Lidia, thank you so much for being on.
No, thank you. It was a fun conversation.
It was. And moms, go out and make it a great day. And just know that you have what it takes and you can be successful. Just go after it and seek the mentors that you feel you need so that you can fast track it and give yourself a break on being a mom, because you're doing a great job. Have a great day. Beautiful moms, remember, you are unbreakable. Keep illuminating the world with your strength, pursuing your dreams, and reveling in the splendor of motherhood. This is Charisse Walker, bidding you farewell for now. Stay tuned for more empowering conversations on the next episode of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. Until then, keep shining bright. Signing off with love, Charisse Walker.